No, as far as the proceedings go.
አይነት ነው። salute. Pieces up. Alabama, shoulder up. Do I say?
I will now invite Her Excellency the President to address this honorable House.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House of Assembly, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and the listening and viewing public, warmest greetings to you all. May God, the eternal source of hope, bless, protect, and sustain you and your families now and always. I address you today under the theme, Adopting a United Approach to Confront the Challenges that Stand in the Way of Our Sustainable Growth and Development. Mr. Speaker, I extend my sincere thanks for your gracious invitation to attend the sitting of the House and to address members of this honorable chamber on the momentous occasion of the formal opening of Parliament, the first meeting of the third session of the 11th Parliament. My husband and I are truly honored and delighted to be here today. It was exactly 1 year ago that I addressed this House, though it seems like only yesterday. Time indeed passes swiftly. I thank Almighty God for granting me this opportunity once more to speak before this august body on matters that continue to challenge us as a people and as a nation. Issues that require our collective resolve, unity of heart and mind, and shared purpose. Whether they stem from within our borders or beyond, these challenges test our resilience and determination to pursue sustainable development. I stand before you as a proud Dominican, and you should be too. Proud of how far we have come, mindful of where we are now, and hopeful for the path we continue to forge together. Mr. Speaker, before I proceed with the main message of my address, please allow me to pay tribute to an outstanding individual whose passing we mourn deeply. I wish to honor the life and legacy of Mr. Gerald Leonard Ed, fondly known as Gary, a distinguished businessman, devoted philanthropist, and exemplary citizen, who passed away on Friday, July 18, 2025, following a period of illness. Mr. Ed was a devout Catholic, a committed family man, and a pillar of strength within his community. He dedicated his life not only to his family and business, but also to the service of his church and the communities of Eggleston and Girodale. Under his wise and visionary leadership, the family business, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, grew steadily in both scope and reputation, overcoming many challenges along the way. Today, the company stands as one of Dominica's leading enterprises, a testament of his perseverance, business acumen, and unwavering commitment to excellence. But Mr. Ed's impact extended well beyond the realm of business. He served on several national committees and made invaluable contributions to the development of tourism, culture, environmental conservation, and community building. Through these efforts, he played a key role in shaping Dominica's socio-economic landscape. He was widely respected for his integrity, calm and generous spirit, exceptional leadership, and professional demeanor. Mr. Ed's legacy is not only written in the annals of Dominica's business history, it lives on in the lives of those he helped, the communities he uplifted, and the values he championed. He was a true patriot, wholly committed to the progress of Dominica and the well-being of its people. He will be sorely missed by all who have had the honor of knowing him. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to acknowledge the sudden and deeply saddening passing of a dear friend, Mr. Macklin Joseph, fondly known as Martin, who diligently cared for the grounds of the government headquarters for many years. Martin passed away on Friday, July 18, 2025, at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, a loss that came as a great shock to all who knew him. Martin was hardworking, cheerful, and kind-hearted, well-known and well-loved by public officers and visitors alike. His friendly smile and warm disposition brought light to many, and his unwavering dedication to his work was a quiet yet powerful example of service and pride in duty. He too will be dearly missed. To the children of Mr. Gerald Ed, Jason, Damian, and Renee, and extended family, to the management and staff of HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, to the business community and the residents of Eggleston and Girodale, I extend my deepest sympathies. And to the children and extended family of Mr. Macklin Joseph, I also extend my heartfelt condolences. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I now ask that we stand together in observing a minute of silence in honor of the late Mr. Gerald Ed and Mr. Macklin Joseph. Thank you. You may be seated. May the souls of our departed brothers rest in eternal peace. Amen. Mr. Speaker, electoral reform and modernization. In my inaugural presidential address last year, I urged this honorable House to bring closure to the long-standing matters of electoral reform and modernization, issues that have cast a shadow over several election cycles. I called upon you to ensure that the rights of all eligible voters, whether residing at home or abroad, are fully protected, and that the voting process remains accessible, fair, and free from undue burden. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to note that the advice I humbly offered was taken under serious and favorable consideration by members of this honorable House. On Wednesday, the 19th day of March 2025, a historic moment unfolded here in the Parliament of the Nature Isle. Three significant bills on electoral reform and modernization were debated, unanimously passed, and enacted into law, despite resistance from a few pressure groups that sought to derail the process. During this historic sitting of Parliament, three important pieces of legislation were passed, marking a significant milestone in our electoral reform journey. These were the Registration of Electors Act 2025, which repeals the previous Registration of Electors Act, Chapter 203, modernizing and updating the legal framework governing the registration of electors. The House of Assembly Elections Act 2025, which repeals the House of Assembly Elections Act, Chapter 201, and provides an updated legislative framework for the election of members of the House of Assembly, and the Electoral Commission Act 2025, which enhances the operations of the Electoral Commission established under Section 56 of the Constitution and addresses related matters. These new laws embody modern principles and align with international best practices. Among the key reforms introduced are the introduction of voter ID cards to be used at the polls, a confirmation process that all registered voters must undergo to remain on the register, effectively addressing the long talked about cleansing of the voters list. Inclusion of clear provisions addressing bribery and cheating. The historic introduction of a provision granting equal access to state media for all political parties, a first in Dominica's history. The establishment of the Electoral Commission Fund to strengthen the Commission and support electronic registration and other technological advancements in the electoral process. To this end, government secured a loan of $6 million from the National Bank of Dominica and a more robust and continuous process for revising the register of electors. Mr. Speaker, regarding campaign financing, the Honorable Prime Minister has publicly clarified government's position on multiple occasions. While government does not oppose campaign financing in principle, given its complexity and critical impact on the electoral process, it is imperative that further discourse and careful analysis take place. Moreover, government favors adopting a regional approach to this matter. Following the passage and enactment of these comprehensive, practical, progressive, and transformative electoral reform and modernization bills, one would hope that discord, animosity, and misinformation surrounding electoral reform would cease. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. Some opponents remain determined to discredit the process through misrepresentation. Government's careful approach to ensure that no eligible voter is disenfranchised in the reform process remains the best course of action. It must be understood that electoral modernization is an ongoing journey, and it is neither feasible nor prudent to adopt all recommended changes simultaneously. Parliament will, as it does with all legislations, amend these laws when necessary. Mr. Speaker, this marks a major milestone in our country's history in the arena of electoral reform. We should take pride in this achievement. This electoral modernization is a great start, and I am confident that the reform process will continue to evolve. Hats off to the honorable members of this House, the Attorney General and his team, the dedicated coordinators of the extensive consultation sessions, and the vast majority of Dominicans at home and abroad who embrace this bold and vital step towards strengthening and modernizing our electoral system. I strongly encourage all eligible Dominicans to participate in the upcoming confirmation process commencing on September 1. Your democratic right to vote is precious. Use it and protect it. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, global food security. The state of global food security is an increasingly urgent concern as the world's population continues to grow. According to the United Nations Committee on World Food Security, CFS, the global population has reached 8 million and is projected to rise by approximately 1% every decade until at least 2050. Access to adequate food is a fundamental human right. Yet, despite this, hundreds of millions around the world continue to suffer from hunger and malnutrition, with approximately 25,000 succumbing to hunger every day. According to the Global Food Security Index, hunger claims more lives than HIV/AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis combined. Most of these deaths occurring in developing countries. An estimated 854 million people remain undernourished. If one were to look up global food security, several definitions would emerge. The United Nations Committee on World Food Security describes it as a situation in which, and I quote, all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and preferences for an active and healthy life, end of quote. We must be mindful of the key drivers of food insecurity: extreme weather events, climate change, armed conflicts, pandemics, scarcity of fertile land, population growth, shifting dietary patterns, post-harvest losses, and other human-induced factors. Without swift and decisive action by governments worldwide, global food security will be severely compromised, potentially leading to increased hunger, famine, long-term health problems, and in the worst cases, a global food crisis with children suffering the most. The global community must take drastic steps to prevent this by transforming the food system, reducing demand in wealthier nations while increasing supply in developing countries. In Dominica, our agri-food system faces significant challenges from climate change, increasing pests and diseases, particularly alien invasive species, our topography and vulnerability to natural hazards and disasters. In response, the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy, has developed policies and programs aimed at strengthening our food and nutrition system and building resilience. These policies promote enhanced domestic food production, sustainable practices, technological innovation, and climate resilience. The programs, including the country program framework, target the core dimensions of food security, food availability, access, nutritional adequacy, and supply stability. Additionally, the Agriculture and Food Systems Transformation Roadmap seeks to improve our natural resource base, enhance the resilience and sustainability of crop, livestock, and fisheries systems, develop risk-informed markets and value chains, and address food and nutrition security challenges. Thank God, Mr. Speaker, that Dominica has not reached a stage of food insecurity. We currently have sufficient food supplies and natural resources to support our population alongside adequate food safety net programs. This blessing must not be taken for granted. However, we must intensify efforts to educate our people on reducing food waste and encourage greater consumption and cultivation of local foods. Dominica's food import bill remains too high. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's data shows that since Hurricane Maria in 2017, food imports have increased every year, from $40 million in 2017 to $56 million today, with meat, cereals, fruits, and vegetables comprising a significant share of the import bill. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, fellow Dominicans, to safeguard against food insecurity, we must make a drastic shift in our approach to local food production and consumption. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, non-communicable diseases, NCDs. The alarming rise in non-communicable diseases poses a serious concern not only for individuals and families, but also for national governments and global health. These diseases demand urgent, innovative action to mitigate their growing impact on communities and economies. The socio-economic burden of NCDs makes their prevention and control a major development priority of the 21st century. NCDs, often referred to as lifestyle diseases, develop slowly from unhealthy living and persist over a long time. They threaten individual lives and the future well-being of societies and economies worldwide. The World Health Organization defines NCDs as a group of conditions not primarily caused by acute infection, which result in long-term health consequences and often require prolonged treatment and care. These include cancers, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, respiratory diseases, hypertension, and obesity, most of which are preventable. NCDs are the leading cause of illness, disability, and death globally. According to WHO, they account for 71% of all deaths annually. The top 4 killers are cardiovascular diseases, 17.9 million deaths annually. Cancers, 9 million. Respiratory diseases, 3.9, and diabetes, 1.6 million. The main risk factors include unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, tobacco use, and alcohol misuse. In Dominica, data from the Health Information Unit, HIU, shows a steady rise in NCD cases with substantial economic impacts. Free NCDs account for a significant share of disease burden and healthcare costs. Diabetes. Approximately 15,048 people were living with diabetes in Dominica in 2024, with an estimated economic burden between US $16.4 million and US $27.4 million annually. Hypertension, the most prevalent NCD, affecting around 25,992 individuals in 2024, with economic costs between US $780,000 and US $1.14 million annually. Cancer. Cancer incidence has steadily increased, with 112 new cases recorded in 2024 alone. The economic burden for new cancer cases is estimated between US $112,000 and US $896,000 annually. These figures are alarming, especially for a small population. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals set a target to reduce premature deaths from NCDs by 1/3 by 2030, SDG 3.4. The government of Dominica is committed to this goal and to SDG 3.8, which aims for universal health coverage and access to essential health care for all citizens. To effectively combat NCDs, the government recognizes the need to strengthen both prevention and treatment across the healthcare system while addressing the underlying social and lifestyle factors. To this end, government has enhanced medical facilities, improved access to medicines, boosted primary and secondary healthcare services, and scaled up primary healthcare initiatives. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, fellow Dominicans and residents, our nation stands at a critical juncture in the fight against non-communicable diseases. These diseases, such as heart disease, diabetes, cancer, hypertension, obesity, and respiratory illnesses, are silently taking a heavy toll on our people and on our health system. Recognizing the urgent need to act early, the government has strengthened national health screenings to detect NCDs sooner and prevent their progression. Physical activity is a powerful tool in both preventing and managing these diseases. To this end, the government has initiated several programs aimed at promoting physical activity and reducing sedentary lifestyles. Our Ministry of Health is committed to this fight, but unfortunately, health is an individual responsibility. We must all pay more attention to our wellness. So, what can we do collectively to prevent and manage NCDs? We start by adjusting our lifestyles, building awareness of NCD risks, educating our communities, discouraging tobacco use and excessive alcohol intake, promoting physical activity and healthy diets, improving air quality, and encouraging regular screening and timely treatment. Integrating mandatory fitness programs and health education into the school curriculum with ongoing monitoring will also contribute to long-term health improvements. Moreover, the integration of digital health tools, investment in prevention strategies, and real-time disease surveillance can transform Dominica's national health trajectory from reactive to proactive care. This shift is essential to improve population health, reduce economic losses, and build a sustainable health system. A healthy population is the foundation for national growth and development. Our families need us, our communities need us, and Dominica needs us. Let us join the Honorable Prime Minister, healthcare practitioners, and advocates in this vital fight against a public health challenge that threatens our nation's well-being and progress. Together, we can defeat these diseases. Join the fight today. Let us make it a priority. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, fellow Dominicans and residents, mental health. Mental health is a vital part of our overall well-being, yet it remains neglected and stigmatized. Mental illness should be treated as a non-communicable condition, not as a source of shame. At some point in our lives, many of us will face trauma or stress that impacts our mental health. People respond to mental health challenges differently. While many are resilient, able to bend without breaking, and bounce back after adversity, Some develop chronic symptoms that interfere with daily life. Others may experience delayed or recurring symptoms. The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being where individuals can manage stress, realize their potential, work productively, and contribute to their communities. Globally, as of June 16, 2025, about 1 in 6 people, roughly 1.3 billion, live with a mental health condition, primarily depression and anxiety. Alarmingly, 1 in 3 receives no treatment. The economic cost is estimated at US $6 trillion annually, with a projected US $1 trillion in lost productivity by 2030. Youth mental health is especially vulnerable, with 45% of mental health illness occurring in those aged 10 to 24. In Dominica, the Ministry of Health data shows that in 2023, 890 patients were treated for mental, neurological, and substance disorders at district clinics. Of these, 55% were male and 45% female. From May 2023 to May 2024, 398 patients were admitted to the acute psychiatric unit, the APU, with 78% male and 22% female. Notably, 75% of these admissions were readmissions and 25% were new cases. The largest age group was 21 to 30-year-olds. Substance use and disorder accounted for 55% of primary diagnosis, and schizophrenia, 38%. Suicide is a growing concern, with 11 admissions for suicide attempts in 2023, and 13 already this year. Unfortunately, stigma and discrimination often lead individuals to feel ashamed of their struggles, preventing them from seeking help. We must challenge these attitudes. Offering support not only aids those in need, but also fosters healing and reduces isolation. When faced with heavy burdens, reaching out to talk is far healthier than resorting to silence, alcohol, and drugs. The government, through the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Social Services, is working with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, to develop new health policies, legislation, and training for treatment providers. As families, friends, communities, and the nation, we all have a role to play. We can organize awareness campaigns to combat stigma and discrimination, integrate mental health education into schools, workplaces, and the media, expand access to counseling and crisis support services, shift towards rights-based, person-centered mental health systems, promote stress management and social support, addressing poverty and inequality, advocate for investment in community-based services and trained personnel, strengthen psychosocial support within primary health clinics, and normalize conversations about mental health through local campaigns. Our mental health matters as much as our physical health. Take time to rest, breathe fresh air, and recharge. I encourage all individuals, institutions, and policymakers to champion mental health and support those who struggle. Mr. Speaker, substance abuse and addiction. It is impossible to discuss mental health without addressing substance abuse and addiction, as these issues are deeply interconnected. Substance abuse, the misuse of drugs and alcohol, affects millions of individuals and families worldwide. It involves harmful use of substances like alcohol, prescription medications, and illicit drugs, damaging health, relationships, and social well-being. As it relates to addiction, it is not just a bad habit. It is a chronic disease that changes the brain, driving compulsive behavior despite harmful consequences. It often starts quietly, from curiosity, peer pressure, stressful lives, untreated mental illness, or a need to escape pain. For some, addiction is a way to cope with trauma. For others, it begins with prescription drugs meant to heal, but ends up causing more harm than good. Mr. Speaker, I have observed a troubling trend among many of our men and women involving the excessive consumption of harmful substances, particularly alcohol, often consumed without a chaser. A practice known as, and I quote, throwback, end of quote. This is extremely dangerous. Abuse of alcohol and hard drugs damages our four main organs: the brain, the liver, the kidneys, and our heart. For example, hard drugs affect the brain's functionality by keeping only the reward center active. The liver usually takes 4 hours to digest a meal, but when we drink a single beer, it can take 8 hours to process the alcohol. Imagine the strain we place on our vital organs when we consume large quantities frequently. While moderate social drinking occasionally is not harmful, excessive and frequent intake is damaging and should be discouraged. Mr. Speaker, quitting addiction is not easy. Those battling it fight a war within their minds, face judgment from society, and struggle to rebuild lives often torn apart. Addiction isolates people, destroys families, derails careers, and leaves scars, both visible and invisible. It is a health issue, and like any illness, requires compassion, support, and treatment, not shame. So what can we do? First, we must educate ourselves and others to break down the stigma so people can feel safe seeking help. We need a holistic approach that includes prevention, treatment, and support systems. We must improve access to mental health care, counseling, and rehabilitation services. Let us support those struggling with addiction and build healthier, safer communities. We should teach our young people healthy ways to cope with stress and peer pressure. Most importantly, we must listen without judgment to those battling substance abuse. Recovery is possible. Many have walked through the darkness of addiction and found the light on the other side. But they did not do it alone, and no one should have to. Let us be part of the solution. Let us be the reason someone chooses to fight, to heal, and to hope again. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, fellow Dominicans, the Citizenship by Investment Program, CBI. The Citizenship by Investment Program is a vital pillar for our country's development. It deserves to be protected and defended. I pray daily for its sustainability. Without this program, our current progress would have been catastrophic. Our beloved Dominica has endured tremendous hardships, from Hurricane David in 1979, Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, Hurricane Maria in 2017, to the ongoing impacts of COVID-19, climate change, and global conflicts, to name a few. Tropical Storm Erica affected over 90% of our GDP, while Hurricane Maria's impact was around 226%. In response, the government acted swiftly and wisely, positioning Dominica as an innovative, resilient nation open to responsible investment. Consequently, the government strengthened the CBI program by enhancing transparency, compliance with international standards, rigorous due diligence procedures, and the integrity of the program. This responsible approach has earned investor trust and positioned Dominica as a leader in the CBI industry. Introduced in 1993, the CBI program is now one of the world's longest-running economic citizenship programs. Dominica has also been placed in the top spot of the CBI index rankings several times. Thanks to the over 20-year unwavering commitment to the program of this current administration. Furthermore, at the recent OECS Heads of Government meeting in Antigua in April of this year, proactive steps were taken to address concerns and improve CBI programs across the region, including the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding. The CBI program's contribution to Dominica's economy and sustainable development has been immense. Its revenues have funded national projects in infrastructure, healthcare, education, housing, tourism, and climate resilience, namely a new international airport, geothermal energy facilities, major hotel developments, climate resilient homes, 12 new health centers, school construction and renovations, the new Marigot Hospital, the Cabrit's Marina in Portsmouth, and the cable car system, to name a few. These initiatives have the power to transform our socio-economic landscape and improve lives across Dominica. Mr. Speaker, over the years, Dominica's Citizenship by Investment program has come under constant attack from critics in both traditional media and across social platforms. But let us be clear, these voices do not have Dominica's best interests at heart. Their mission is not to build, but to break down, not to uplift, but to undermine. What drives them is not national progress, but personal and political agendas. So I ask you, are we going to sit back and allow these forces to rob us, our children, and our country of an opportunity to thrive? Absolutely not. There is far too much at stake. The CBI program has been a lifeline for Dominica. It has helped rebuild after disasters, supported critical infrastructure, improved healthcare and education, and created thousands of opportunities for our people. It is without question the goose that lays the golden egg, and we must not allow anyone to kill it. When they attack the CBI program, they are not just attacking a policy, they are attacking the very progress and stability of Dominica. And we cannot allow that to happen. We must defend it, not with anger, but with truth. Not with division, but with unity. This is not the government's fight alone. This is our fight, all of us. Every Dominican, at home or abroad, has benefited in one way or another from the CBI program. And if we want our children and future generations to inherit a stronger, more resilient Dominica, then we must all stand up and play our part. Let us speak up. Let us share the facts. Let us highlight the real stories of how CBI has transformed lives and built communities. Because when the truth is told, the value of this program becomes undeniable. So today, I make this call, not just as a supporter of the CBI program, but as a proud Dominican. Let us come together. Let us protect what is ours. Let us defend the progress we have made and ensure that the future of Dominica remains bright for generations to come. Our children will thank us. Our country will thank us. And history will remember that when it mattered most, we stood united. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, fellow Dominicans, defending Dominica's integrity and future. There is no denying the power and importance of a country's image. It is a reflection of our collective identity, values, and aspirations. From an early age, we were introduced to the symbols of our nationhood, particularly our national anthem, our national flag, and our national pledge. These are more than just rituals or symbols. They are expressions of who we are as a people. Today, I wish to reflect on our national pledge, penned by the late Mr. Peter Israel, a true patriot and servant of this land. And I invite you to join with me as we recite the national pledge. Before God and all mankind, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the Commonwealth of Dominica and to the sovereign republic for which it stands. My love, my loyalty and skills in the service of Dominica and my fellow citizens. I promise to work diligently and to help build a prosperous and peaceful nation. Thank you. My fellow Dominicans, this is not just a promise. We made a vow to honor our nation, to serve our people, and to build a better, stronger Dominica. That pledge should continue to guide our words, our actions, and our choices. We must never allow anyone to tear down what our ancestors toiled and sacrificed to build, and what we too are working hard to advance, a thriving, united Dominica. Sadly, Mr. Speaker, there are individuals, both at home and abroad, who, under various pretenses, seek to tarnish our country's reputation. They deliberately spread misinformation and negativity, attacking programs such as our Citizenship by Investment initiative and attempting to derail our economic progress and social cohesion. We must understand the stakes. A country's image matters. It shapes how others see us, how we see ourselves, and how we are treated by the global community. A positive image attracts investments, tourism, and respect. A damaged one does the opposite. We cannot afford that. Let us be clear. Anyone who makes it their mission to defame Dominica's name and undermine its progress cannot be considered a friend of this nation. They must be seen for who they truly are. Dominica's image is not a trivial matter. It belongs to all of us, and we are all responsible for protecting it. Just as each citizen wants to be respected and valued, our country too deserves dignity and honor. If we damage Dominica's reputation, we all suffer. If we uplift it, we all benefit. Therefore, I call on every Dominican, young and old, at home and abroad, to be guardians of our nation's integrity. Let us instill in our children the spirit of patriotism, pride, and civic responsibility. Let us teach them not only to love their country, but to defend it with honor through education and action. Mr. Speaker, as a Dominican, as a daughter of the indigenous community, Carinago community, and as your head of state, I consider it my sacred duty to defend the integrity and future of this beloved land. Let us also take a firm stand against those who use social media to spread hatred, lies, and slander. We are not here on this earth to tear one another down, but to build each other up. Our purpose is to love, to contribute meaningfully, and to leave the world and our nation better than we found it. After all, Matthew chapter 7 verse 12 tells us, "Do unto others as you would have them do to you." This is known as the golden rule. Let us adhere to that rule. Dominica is all we have. My Kalinago ancestors protected her. Our African heroes protected her. Now, let us protect her with pride, unity, and unwavering resolve. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, fellow Dominicans, we have much work ahead of us. Alongside our domestic challenges, we face numerous global obstacles that demand our attention. Now more than ever, we must unite in mind, heart, and purpose to build strong families, resilient communities, and a robust nation. Strengthening our institutions, especially our health system, is critical. Health is the foundation of sustainable development, addressing not only the social and economic well-being of our people, but also our environmental needs. A healthy population is essential for national growth, resilience, and the achievement of our sustainable development goals. We must also take a hard look at how we spend our time, reducing excessive screen time and instead dedicating ourselves to uplifting our young people in prayer and support. Our young men in particular are facing premature death through gun-related violence, a surge that threatens our safety, peace, and national security. This situation cannot be ignored. I commend the Honorable Prime Minister, the government, and the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force for developing a plan of action to address this urgent societal problem, and praise the police for their relentless efforts in removing illegal firearms and ammunition from our streets. Dominica belongs to all of us, and it is the responsibility of every church, school, business, NGO, and citizens to join forces with the government and the police to fight against gun violence. Together, we must confront this threat head-on to ensure Dominica remains a safe, peaceful, and secure haven for all. May God bless us all and continue to guide Dominica along the path of opportunity, achievement, and prosperity. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I wish you a meaningful and fruitful debate. Thank you for your patience and kind attention. Thank you.
I shall now take leave of Her Excellency, the President.